Mike has already talked about Wi-Fi wireless network communications, but there are other types of wireless communications you're going to need to be aware of for the Security Plus exam. Let's start by talking about radio frequency identifier, or RFID. Now, you've probably seen this in retail outlets when you might have clothing that has little tags attached to it, and if someone tries to leave the store without that tag removed, it'll set off an alarm. Now, it's got a close range compared to what you might get with Wi-Fi. It's approximately 5 meters, which works out to be around 16 feet or so. So normally this is used for things like inventory control. It can also be used as a pet locator solution, where you might have an RFID tag in your pet's collar, and then having a smartphone app that tracks that RFID location. Also, some countries are even now issuing passports that have that embedded within the passport itself. Now, those are specialized implementations of RFID that actually have a different type of range than we normally would have with inventory control. Now, you might wonder how an RFID tag is powered, because it doesn't have a battery and it's not plugged into the wall. It actually is activated with proximity to a scanning device that emits power. Now, a subset of RFID is something that we've probably all used with contactless payments, tap payments. That's near field communication, or NFC. So it's a type of RFID technology, but it's much closer in range than you would have, for example, with Bluetooth or Wi-Fi, or what we just talked about, RFID. The range is about 5 centimeters, which works out to be about 1.5 inches. And we've all seen this used with contactless payments, where you don't have to press buttons to put in a PIN, for example, for a credit card. If you have a chip card that supports NFC, you can simply put it very close to the payment terminal and it will automatically charge your credit card in that example. Or maybe you have a smartphone app that does the same thing. The proximity issue is still the same, whether it's a smartphone app or it's a chip-based card. So this can be used for payment at the retail level for sure, but it can also be used for sharing data. It's just another network transmission mechanism that uses radio frequencies. So we can even buy NFC tags that we can program to have any data in them. Let me give you an example of this. So I've gone to Amazon.com and I've searched for NFC tag, and I have a lot of hits here. What we can do is we can buy bundles of these little NFC tags, which can come in the form of tiny little circles that have an embedded chip that also can be peeled, and you can stick them on something. Imagine this for personal use. On your fridge, you have a little NFC tag where you've programmed things like your Wi-Fi network name and the passcode. So when guests come to visit, all they have to do is point their smartphone, if it's NFC enabled, at that, and it automatically transmits the name of the wireless network and transmits also the password for it. So it could be any type of data. That's one of a million possible examples. All you need to do that are NFC tags, an NFC-enabled smartphone, and an app that lets you write to NFC tags. Bluetooth is another example of wireless technology. It's called the 802.15.1 standard, and it can run in the 2.4 gigahertz frequency range or the 5 gigahertz frequency range, much like Wi-Fi networks can. The idea with Bluetooth is that we have more of a smaller range of connectivity than we would have with Wi-Fi. So there are different classes of Bluetooth devices, and the range varies. So for instance, with Bluetooth Class 1, we have up to 100 meters or about 328 feet of a range for connectivity between paired devices. An example of a Class 1 type of Bluetooth device would be a USB dongle Wi-Fi card that you might plug into the side of a laptop. A Class 2 Bluetooth device has a range of about 10 meters, which works out to be around 30 feet or so. An example of this would be perhaps Bluetooth headphones, or maybe you're pairing your smartphone with your car stereo, or to a Bluetooth speaker to listen to music. That would have a range of about 10 meters or 30 feet or so. So in order for Bluetooth devices to talk to one another, they need to be paired together. Now, once they're paired together, all that means is that they trust one another. Then data transfer can occur. Whether you're transferring music from your smartphone through your car stereo while you're driving, or for a headset connected to your smartphone, maybe you've got a wireless Bluetooth keyboard, so it doesn't have to be physically plugged in. There are many uses for Bluetooth, but that's the idea with it. Now, you can actually also use Bluetooth, for example, between two smartphones. If I have a file or a picture on my smartphone and I want to quickly send it to you, without sending it through the internet, I can simply pair with your device locally if we're within range and send you that file via Bluetooth. So it's just another communication mechanism that we can use in many different ways. However, like everything, there are some attacks that are possible with Bluetooth. If you really got down to the nitty-gritty, you might say, well, isn't there a way maybe we could attack NFC? Well, everything's possible, but NFC is so close range, it would be perhaps very difficult to do that without being noticed. But it's possible. So Bluetooth attacks will include things like bluejacking. Bluejacking means that when we're in proximity to another Bluetooth device, depending on how that device is configured, we might be able to send messages like contact information to that user. It's unsolicited messages that the user didn't ask for of that device that is popping up, for example, on their smartphone. Blue snarfing is a little bit different. What this means is that essentially we're using a tool like Wireshark to capture Bluetooth network traffic. Remember, Bluetooth is just another wireless technology where you need a Bluetooth network adapter and it sends transmissions and you can capture that traffic, potentially analyze it. Now, if you're not needing to use Bluetooth, your best bet is to disable it. Standard hardening procedure. Turn off stuff that you don't need. So now we have a sense then of wireless communication protocols like Wi-Fi that Mike talked about, NFC, RFID, and Bluetooth.